what's in your head is just as important as what's on your plate.
You get to be in control of how other people show up in your life.
It is pretty easy if you're prepared, and I think being prepared is the key.
Hi, my name is Rachel and I'm a Weight Watchers Canada ambassador, and I'm so excited to share my story with you today. So I started Weight Watchers at the end of December of 2019, going into January of 2020 as a New Year's resolution. Previous to that, I had never done a formal weight loss plan. I had not joined any other program, so this was my very first time ever experiencing a formal weight loss program, and I was so excited to dive in as soon as I started Weight Watchers. I remember just going through all my 0-point foods. What can I have? I originally started on the green plan and then I transitioned over to the blue plan, and that is where I currently am, and I love it. So when I started Weight Watchers, the reason I started, I was newly engaged, and I remember seeing photos of from our engagement party as well as the night when we actually got engaged, and just looking at them and feeling and knowing how uncomfortable I felt in those photos. I thought to myself, I don't want to look back at this time of my life with all these wedding activities and all these social events that are going to be happening and just be like, I feel uncomfortable. I know I'm uncomfortable. I'm not confident. And I just needed to make that change for myself. I wanted to look back at this time and not know and cringe every time I saw a photo or try to hide myself. I really wanted to be more in the moment and not be so aware or self-conscious of myself. I want to just exude confidence, and when we eventually have our wedding, I just want to feel beautiful. I want to look back on the photos and know that I didn't feel uncomfortable. And I also just wanted to feel comfortable in social settings again. Previous to starting Weight Watchers, I would avoid social situations, or I'd feel like I'd stay at the back of the crowd and just try to not be there because I just knew that I was uncomfortable and I was not my most confident self, and I knew I wasn't feeling who I usually was. I'm a social butterfly. I love seeing my friends. I love going out and do things. And when I was at that point in my life when I was avoiding that, I knew I needed to make a change because I knew I wasn't being the real me. So my why was to feel more confident and to be proud of myself. So I have 2 keys to success on Weight Watchers that I still use to this day. And my first is accountability. And one of those aspects of accountability is meal planning. So for some people, meal prepping, creating a meal that you're gonna have throughout the week, that's just not for me. I actually can't stand the thought of having to eat the same thing every day. I need variety, but that's just me. But for that, I did meal planning. So I create a menu for the entire week every Sunday. I have a notepad and I put down my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner, and I plan it for every day that week. It keeps it so easy because then I just, on a Tuesday morning, go to the fridge and there's my notepad and I see, okay, Monday we're doing egg white omelet. Perfect. Wednesday, I go to the fridge and I see lunch, I'm having a turkey wrap. It helps me, stay accountable. I have a plan, I have an action plan. It just makes so much sense to me, and it's really helped me be accountable on my Weight Watchers journey. And another thing that has really helped to keep me accountable is the Instagram page that I started. When I started this, I really could have cared less if anyone else followed along. I just wanted a space that I could share my journey in, post my meals that I was eating, but also learn so much. I've actually learned so much from this Weight Watchers community, from recipes to tips and tricks. And this community is so uplifting. Honestly, when I share different parts of my journey, my success stories, a weight loss, meeting a milestone, meeting a goal, there are people that I've never even met cheering me on and just sharing how excited they are for you. And that sense of community, I can't even put into words how amazing that is. So meal planning and starting an Instagram page has helped me be accountable throughout my Weight Watchers journey. And my second key to success is be easy on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. One day you might have a burger. That's okay. If it's your favorite takeout burger and that makes you happy and you had a great time eating that burger, eat that burger. But then, you know, you're gonna have to think the next day, I can't probably have 2 more burgers for the next day. So it's been able to be finding balance, but also being gentle with myself, you know, trying not to have that negative self-talk. You know, if you make one decision one day, don't let it affect the rest of your week. Just get right back on plan, you know, make sure you're drinking your water, you know, don't be fixated on the scale all the time. You know, your body is changing and the number on the scale might not be always accurate of all the good things that are happening to your body. And that's my last key to success, is be easy on yourself, be kind to yourself, hype yourself up. You are your biggest hype man, and that's how you gotta be. One of my biggest successes and moments when I realized this is working is a pair of jeans. So right before I started Weight Watchers at the end of December of 2019, I had bought a pair of jeans online and they were just a smidge too small. I couldn't actually get the button done up. And I remember wearing them to work one day and having a safety pin hold them together just so I could sit in them comfortably when I was at my desk. And I remember 6 weeks into my journey, I tried the jeans on again and they did up. Not just the button doing up, but they actually fit. There was a little bit of wiggle room in the waist. And I was like, okay, this is working. I'm starting to see physical changes in my body and this is exciting. I started feeling more confident. And previous to that, I hated wearing shirts tucked in jeans. I could not stand it. I hated showing my stomach off. And I remember when I wore those jeans, when they actually fit, I tucked in my shirt. And I remember my coworkers saying, Rachel, you have so much confidence today. You look amazing. Like, it's exuding from you. You can just feel how confident you are. And I remember just being so excited and almost like crying because I really knew that this was the moment that I made the right decision for myself. And then 6 months into my journey, I tried the jeans on again and they were too big. They were just like starting to get loose around the waist, not fitting properly in the butt and the thighs and everything. And then about a year into my journey, I tried them on again just to really see from where I had started to where I am now, and they fell off my hips. They could not do up at all and they were way too big. And I remember throwing them into a donation pile and just feeling so satisfied with myself that in 1 year of being on Weight Watchers, I had gone down 2 jean sizes, and it just blew my mind how I was able to stick with it for myself. And these physical changes, my confidence, everything changed. And now one of my favorite things is tucking my shirts into my jeans, and that would have not been me over a year ago. One of my biggest obstacles while on Weight Watchers has been eating out. So previous to starting Weight Watchers, as a social butterfly, I was going out all the time with my friends. We were going out for drinks, we were going out for food. You know, you're catching up with your friends, you're gossiping, you're having fun, the drinks are flowing, the food is coming, it's so delicious. And I remember when I first started Weight Watchers, I had a bit of a reality check about the amount of alcohol you consume when you go out to restaurants with friends and in social situations, and also a bit of a reality check about the food that you choose when you go out to restaurants. When I started Weight Watchers, it actually was just before the pandemic started. And if I'm being completely honest, because of the pandemic, all of those social gatherings immediately stopped for me. You know, there was no restaurants to go out to and have those social settings where you're just sitting there and ordering drinks and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, the shift to takeout and not socializing. So all of that had been taken away. And if I'm being honest, it really helped me develop good skills for making takeout options. So because delivery services became so important during the pandemic, you know, I was choosing Weight Watchers friendly options, making sure that I was going through the app and reading about different Canadian restaurants that accommodate the Weight Watchers point system. You know, I was making sure I was making healthy decisions, and it completely changed my perspective on eating out and making good decisions. And I'm not saying to never eat out, but it just makes you be a bit more conscious when you're eating out what food you are choosing. And if you choose to, you know, have something a bit more indulgent or something that is a little bit more than what's on our plan, use your weeklies. Have that burger. but use your weeklies. It still works in a plan. You're not gonna miss out. You're still gonna enjoy all the food. And at the end of the day, when you let yourself have those takeout options that you use your weeklies, you're less likely to binge because you're not restricting yourself. And I think that was the most fulfilling part of being on Weight Watchers, is realizing I don't have to give up anything to stick with this program. I can eat the food I love, I can make modifications here and there, and those modifications weren't anything that changed food completely. It was just making healthier decisions, and I think it really taught me to be more conscious of what I'm choosing and to read nutrition and to be aware of what you're choosing when you go out to eat. So fast forward to post-pandemic or post-lockdown, and restaurants are open again, you're socializing with your friends. I'm having to relearn and reteach myself when I'm going out to restaurants with alcohol and people want to share appetizers. I either have to say no and make a decision that I am not going to participate in, having a drink or having some sort of appetizer that might not work for my plan that day. But then I'm also pre-plan, knowing I'm going out with my friends to eat out. I will pre-plan my week to make sure that I have allocated enough weeklies or I allocate enough points so that when I do go out, I'm not overindulging, I'm not overdoing it, I'm still sticking on plan. I can still have fun with my friends and not feel like I'm sitting out or that I'm feel weird that everyone else is, eating and drinking and I'm just sitting there not doing anything. I make sure that I plan. And a part of that planning is also looking the menu up ahead of time. As a person who just loves reading food menus, I always make sure that I read the menu ahead of time. That way, when I go to the restaurant, I can know what I'm gonna order, if I need to make any modifications for it, if I have to ask the server about anything, and just make sure that I'm looking out for myself and making sure that I'm making decisions that help me stay on my goal and make me stay within my points, or use those weeklies as they're allocated to me. And that's just something that you learn. It's something that you have to practice, and you'll figure it out. One time you'll have a whoopsie, but that's okay. Just holding yourself accountable and not being too hard on yourself. With this obstacle, I've been able to successfully make good choices now when you go to restaurants. Advice that I would give to a new member. My greatest piece of advice is give yourself a chance. Don't give up on yourself. A lot of people will say that there's these quick diets that work and you're gonna see results immediately. That's not sustainable. It's not healthy. To see actual results that will last a long time, you have to give yourself the time to see those results. It could take weeks, it could take months, but if you give yourself a chance and you give yourself the time and you make your health a priority, I guarantee you will see those changes. You will start to feel your confidence grow. You will start to see physical changes, whether it's in your clothing or how you physically feel when you just hold yourself, when you're in a social situation, and the scale will start to change eventually, but don't be fixated on that. There's so many factors that affect the scale, but give yourself a chance. Just give it time. It will work, I promise. If you stay consistent and follow the plan, it will work. Here are my 5 grocery must-haves on Weight Watchers. So the first one is plain fat-free Greek yogurt. This is my holy grail Weight Watchers must-have. It can be used for dips, it can be used as a sour cream or cream cheese substitute, it can be used in baking and substitute other ingredients, it can be used for dips, it can be added into sauces, you can make dressings. It literally is the perfect ingredient, and everybody should have this in their fridge if you are on Weight Watchers. Another is hot sauce. There's so many to choose from, so pick the one that you love. But since starting Weight Watchers, my spice tolerance has actually increased because I love using hot sauce for a punch of flavor at 0 points, and it's just amazing. Another staple for me is chicken, so whether that's chicken breast or rotisserie chicken, I always make sure I have some sort of chicken option in the fridge so that way I can make a ton of different meals using one ingredient. It's helpful for dinners, leftovers are great for lunches. It's really just amazing having that option. Another are eggs for me. I love having eggs in the fridge. I can make egg salad, I can do breakfast, I can use it in baking, I can do omelets and all those kind of things. So eggs are another staple for me. And my final staple are bananas. I love bananas so much. Even before Weight Watchers, it was one of my favorite fruits. I love it because I can eat it as it is, just eat it as a snack. I can use it in baking, again, as another substitute. I can use it for breakfast. I can have it as a sweet treat as a dessert. There's so many options. And so those are my 5 Weight Watchers grocery must-haves.